right.
The love. You guys are crazy.
All right. Good evening. I'm attorney Vince Davis, and this is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. And I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Miss Deidre Payne from Orange County, California. Miss Payne, how are you this evening?
Good and excited to be back.
That's quite a virtual background you have. Almost seems
Yes.
like real. And we also have Mr. Darren Guy, all the way from the state of Maine. Mr. Guy, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. You see, look, she's having a hard time keeping her smiling. Are you watching her do this? She's so excited and so happy. She's like, I'm waiting for tears to come out of her eyes.
Oh,
Hey,
stop.
Darren, since you don't have that $1,000 headset and microphone, I can barely hear you.
Oh, really? Is that better? Are we better now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There we go.
I noticed that we have a special guest tonight, a repeat guest.
Yeah, Mr. Mike.
Mr. Mike Bartz. Mr. Bartz, how are you?
Doing very well. How are you, Mr. Davis?
So tell the listeners where you're calling from.
I'm calling from the down under state of North Carolina.
North Carolina. We had somebody on the show the other day from North Carolina.
They're
Yeah,
hating life, I promise you.
Huh?
They're hating life.
Yeah, who was that? I'll look.
I think it was a female guest that
Yeah, it
we
was
had
a
from
female
North
for
Carolina.
sure, yeah.
Mr. Bartz.
She's not 30 years old, is she?
No.
It's your other half.
No, God, please tell me it wasn't her. If so, I quit now.
Mr. Bartz, I didn't see this last time, but you seem to have some sleeves, some tattoos there.
Oh, yeah. That's what gets me 90% of my trouble. If you look at my tattoos, they're actually all pretty comical. I got clowns. I got a teddy bear. I got a fish. I got Gigi for Gentle Giant. I got a naked girl I'm not showing, but yeah.
So
You got Mr. Davis in the background there, I see.
Yeah,
That's
Mr. Davis is here in North Carolina with me.
I had a beard at that time.
Oh, that's a first.
I tell you, you do look the different phases of Davis. It's really funny. It is funny when you go back through your videos how you change your appearance.
So, Mr. Bartz, you're back with us. What's going on in North Carolina with CPS these days?
Well, just basically, I mean, I had a bunch of questions, and I don't know if you want me to go over my story real quick, but I just have a series of questions. I was wondering if you could put some or put some light onto it for me.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you remember, but my daughter, it was substantiated that my daughter was neglected while she was in foster care. And the suggestion you had was to have it investigated some more. It was investigated by another county, and the county substantiated the claim that she was neglected. And it was, of course, DSS investigating themselves. But who should I go to above and beyond that?
Department of Health and Human Services in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
The United States Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division.
All right. And they'll investigate also?
Yeah. And also, you might consider the state head of social services in your state. That might be useful, may not, but definitely complaints to the feds.
Okay, I haven't tried the feds, but I did try the state, and they seem to all pretty much circle their wagons. So,
of course,
and yeah, I mean that's expected, I guess.
Yeah, they don't want you to sue them and lose money.
Right.
You remember this,
Yep.
Mike? Remember this. Originally, one of the reasons why we have two systems of justice in this country, the state and the federal courts, one of the reasons is because the federal courts were established to protect citizens from their own state. Okay? So that's one of the reasons why you might want to consider the feds. What's your next question, Mike?
My next question is the supervisor that the DSS or CPS supervisor that is currently on my case is the supervisor that put my daughter in that foster home. And when I first brought up the allegations that my daughter, from the bruising and from the way my daughter looked and act, she scoffed at me basically. And just looked at me, and my daughter's going on. Well, at the time she was a year and a half old, and she said, "Children learn how to walk your bruises all the time." She just played it off. She is currently the supervisor on my case still. Can I have her removed?
You probably can. You can probably talk to your attorney, make a motion to have her taken off the case.
I'm my own attorney.
Okay.
Everybody quit on me.
Whoa, Mike. Whoa.
Everybody quit on me.
That's not my optimum strategy. You know that, right?
Oh, I do know that. I do understand that. I've watched all your videos, and plus I slept at a Holiday Inn Express. So,
well, that makes
I'm
all
good
the
to go.
difference in the world.
Okay, that went over my
Mr.
head.
Davis,
What do you
is
mean
he the
holiday?
story that we had before, all of us, where he said he had his child late in life? Is that
Yeah.
the story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember
I
Mike's like
remember.
10 feet tall? Remember Mike's 10 feet tall and they're teasing him?
Yes,
and all that?
yes. So it makes sense that he, everyone quit on him, is what I'm trying to say. No offense, but Mike.
None taken. No, I'm an equal opportunity jerk. I treat everybody like I'm a jerk. So
I remember your story now. Yeah. Oh,
How
Lord.
is your head? How is your head, by the way? Are you doing all right with that? That whole surgery?
No, I mean it's the headaches and you talking about from the surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that craniotomy, and the headaches are just immense. But honestly, I refuse to go see a doctor because that's the first thing DSS wants to use against me is my brain injury and my brain surgery. Yeah, because they took out part of my brain. They think that I'm just loony now, and I'm like, no, I was like this to begin with.
Yeah. Hey, you were fine. What were you in the Air Force, right?
Yes, sir.
So you were good enough to serve the country being crazy, right? But you're not good enough to be for the child after they take it out of you.
Absolutely.
You can run around with nuclear weapons in your hands, put them on planes, but you can't take care of your child.
Oh, worse than that, I was an air traffic controller. So I mean,
that's right. That's right. You were pushing 10. So
I was pushing 10.
Yeah. That's the number one most
stressful job
that there is. Yep. That's it. I think as far as the military is concerned, that is the number one, right?
But yeah, let me go over my story real quick. I'm a 60-year-old man. I'm married to a 30-year-old woman. I married a woman 30 years my junior.
Yes.
We had a child February of 22. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Davis. I told you that was a mistake.
Oh, Lord.
But we had a child. I lied to her. She's my lie baby because I lied when I said I'd pull out.
That's funny.
But we had a baby a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. She'll be 2 years in February. My wife all but signed our daughter away to DSS via safety plan, and she didn't follow a safety plan, and so they took custody of our daughter. My daughter was with CPS or in foster care for 6 months. We got her back, and I got tased.
Yeah, remember that story too?
To my daughter or to my. I got tased, and so they gave my daughter to my ex, my soon-to-be ex, and I'm back on supervised visitation. But that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. My daughter was substantiated. I'm not passing rumors. I've got the paperwork. It says it's substantiated that she was neglected while in foster care.
What does that mean, Mr. Davis?
That she was abused in foster care.
Yeah.
Okay.
She had what appeared to me
bruises on her and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she had bruises and stuff on her, but the one bruise that got my attention was it looked like a bruise from a thumb. It looked the size of a thumb. and it wasn't the size of my thumb. It was the size of someone else's thumb.
I've been the size of the baby.
Right next to her JJ. And I raised 10 kinds of cane about it. But they pretty much put me in my place because they stripped her down in front of me. Now, I'm a protective father. I'm a baby boomer. My wife's a millennial. But tell me that ain't oil and water. But I'm very protective over my daughter. But they stripped her down in front of me. I mean, didn't even ask me to leave the room, and proceeded to take pictures of her and just scoff at me and pretty much embarrass me. And I mean, it was bad. And lo and behold, I was proven right that she was neglected.
Oh, good for you for sticking with that, man, for sure.
But the bad thing is I wasn't there when she was neglected. I couldn't. I can't imagine my daughter laying there looking for me to help her.
Oh,
and I couldn't.
Yeah. It sucks.
Because I know she was looking for me because I'm her date. I'm the one that takes.
Right?
Pardon me.
She's home with you now, right? She's home back with you guys.
Not
right?
with me.
No, with the mom, right?
Yeah.
The millennial.
What's your next steps? Where are you at here?
The next step is we have and that's leads into my next questions. The next step is the permanence meeting court date.
Okay.
I have completed everything on the paperwork from the dependency hearing. But chances are they're going to add stuff, right? Is that what they do? My understanding is that they add stuff to it.
They can, depending on what happened in the past 6 months. But generally, you can get out of the woods by just completing the case plan. I don't know what the law is in your state regarding this, but as long as you've done the case plan and participated and quote unquote learned something from it, you should be able to get back in the saddle regarding custody and visitation.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why haven't they moved you to unsupervised visits yet?
Because I got tased at a safety exchange zone.
I know. I kind of remember that story, but even though you kind of finished your whole case plan, they're still using that incident to keep you on supervised.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they what they did was that they even though I haven't been convicted of it, they charged me with failure to obey a police officer. I mean, they didn't charge me with anything else. It wasn't like disturbing the public or anything like that. They got me.
Wasn't it only because you wanted to give your daughter a kiss goodbye and
goodbye? Right.
They wouldn't let you, but you did anyways.
Oh yeah, I told him I'll go to jail just to kiss my daughter goodbye, and he said, "Okay, let's go then."
And then you did, and then he tased you. Oh my gosh!
I called him a few choice names, but that's freedom of speech. I mean, I just.
But how is CPS looking at that against you?
They consider it the way it was used against me in court, because I had court like 2 days later. The way they used it against me in court was that I had anger issues. And then what they did was, it was originally they put in there that I had to go to some kind of domestic violence classes, but they crossed that out. And they were supposed to put in anger management classes, but they never wrote it in. So I said,
yeah.
I mean, so I completed everything that's on the list. As far as on the list, I'm supposed to have a job. So I'm selling drugs. I'm kidding. I'm not Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis, do you
but I'm not supposed to have any contact with law enforcement. And I've been staying home, so I'm staying out of trouble. I'm not I'm supposed to go to parenting classes, and I did that already. That's done. I got the certificate and the t-shirt, so everything's done. Like I said, I mean, as far as the job is concerned, because of my brain surgery, I applied for disability. So we're waiting to see if that's going to come through. But I don't know if they're going to. I don't know if they're going to take that as income or not.
Why? I thought if poverty and all of that stuff's not supposed to be an issue, then why is what your employment isn't an issue, Mr. Davis?
I don't know why employment would be an issue. Is CPS using your employment against you?
Oh no, my wife was. See, this
But they're saying you needed a job, right? You needed to have a job. They were saying
I got to have income.
Okay.
I got to have income, is what it says.
Why? I mean, if you can show that you can support yourself and you have a roof over your head, why do you have to have income?
I guess if my daughter is with me, they want me to be able to afford to put diapers on her or something. I don't know.
I mean, but if you have means of doing that without an income, I don't know. That's weird.
You know, one of the things is if they order you to have income, then my argument would be that they have to give you services to get that income, help you get a job. Are they giving you those types of services?
Oh, no. They gave me food stamps. I'm a government employee, I guess.
Well, that's income.
Right.
I mean, yeah, other than that, that's the only services they provide.
You know, in California, I'm not sure that would be legal. I don't know about your state, but that has nothing to do with, being a risk to the child.
I have no idea. I mean, it's just one of my stipulations on from the dependency hearing case.
Can the income be welfare or government assistance?
It just says income, stable income.
Huh. I don't know.
And I have to be able to maintain a home.
Are they giving you services for a home, help with rent, help finding a place, and all that kind of stuff?
No, they're giving all that to my ex. You got to remember, my daughter, I mean, my ex is acting like a foster mother. She won't let me see her. She won't bring her around to me or nothing.
Wow.
She's acting because DSS still, I mean, I don't know if I give the wrong impression, but according to DSS, they still have custody of my daughter. They're just allowing her to stay with my ex.
What?
Yeah.
Is the case still open?
Yes.
That's the same in LA. In California, yeah, that'd be technically correct.
I didn't think that was legal. I mean, talk about, overnight stay. That's a little extreme. But so they're basically treating my ex like she's the foster parent and just letting my daughter stay with her.
You know why?
Of course, they got me on supervised visitation.
You know why they're doing all this, right?
I have no idea. For money, I guess, to save money or to make money or something like that.
No, it's called payback to you.
Of course.
I
never looked at it that way.
Yeah, it's payback. I had a conversation today with a client, and we have a hearing tomorrow. And when she hired me, since then she's been telling me the strategy that I should use. and today, I finally
that went over well.
Had a discussion with her. I said, now, the strategies you've been giving me, some are okay, some are just bad. And but if you want me to do that, I will do that. But you're reducing our chance of success, victory. I said, what do you want? Do you want the child back, or do you want to be vindicated, and do you want to be right? She said, I want both. I said, can't have both, unfortunately. Well, that's not right. Yeah, there's a lot of things that aren't right with our system. I said, so, I think you hired me because you thought I was an expert. But what sense does it make for you to hire me, then tell me what to do and not listen to my strategy? What sense does that make?
And then blame you at the end when you lose because you listened to her.
Right. And I told her that. I basically told her that. So she finally relented and said, okay, I'm going to follow everything that you do or you say and advise. And I said, okay, we have a good shot tomorrow. I said, now, when you get up on the stand, I don't want you to start ranting about CPS, right? About how they screwed you over and, blah, blah, blah. I said, if you were the judge and some mother got on and started yelling about CPS, would you give that mother back the child? You know what she said? No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. I said, well, why do you think the judge is going to give you back the child if you get on the stand and give her a piece of your mind? It's not going to work. And everything was, I feel. I finally we actually took a break in the conversation. She pulled up her computer and went on YouTube and looked. She searched for a video that I have. Apparently, I didn't know this, but I have like 3 or 4 different versions of it. But the one I wanted her to watch was called What is Justice, where I'm standing in front of the whiteboard and I'm drawing circles, explaining to her why about 95% of what she believed justice was false. And, she watched it and, we talked about it and she said, I think I finally get it. I finally get it. Now, I've represented her for about 3 weeks, and it took 3 weeks to convince her. She texts me every day. She calls me every other day, and I'm trying to explain these things, and it's just difficult for me to get through to people because sometimes they're so mad at CPS or the judge, and they think that their position is the right position and the only position. And Mike, that's not true. If you're trying to get to the end goal, you need to take the map. Now, if you decide to veer off course, okay, that's on you. It's just going to take you longer to get to your end goal. I mean, I applaud the positions that you're taking, but look at the position you're in. You don't have what you want. You don't have custody of your child. And I'm not telling you to kiss anybody's ass.
Are you trying to make me cry? That's what
No,
you're trying to do.
just get a strategy, a good strategy, a good legal strategy. Don't give me that Air Force military strategy because it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
I can't call in a firefight or a fire strike.
No.
Yeah.
And if you do, they'll retaliate until the day you die. These are government employees. They're overworked, underpaid, and they're in this position, and they demand respect, and they don't give a damn who you are or how right they are or wrong they are. They're going to get their chunk of skin. So you got to outsmart them. There is a book, a very famous book that I had to read I think I had to read it in college. It's called The Prince. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Written by, 12th or 13th century Italian politician during the Renaissance. And he wrote this book. And I know you've heard this quote from the book. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That was written about way back on the 12th.
I told my ex-wife that yesterday.
So written back in the 12th or 13th century. Now, if you believe in that strategy and you believe this man knew what he was talking about in the human dynamic, do we do that with social workers? No. So, some people would call it manipulation.
No,
some people would call
it.
Some people would call it selling out. There are a lot of things, but listen to me. In the most important case of your life ever, you want to win first. And if you got wronged by the social worker, turn around and sue them later. My grandma told me, don't get mad. Just get even.
Yeah.
Getting mad is not going to get you anything. Get even. What do you think, Mike?
I think you're trying to shut me up.
No, not at all. Not at all. But see, here's the issue.
Because I mean, I really don't have any.
Here's the issue, Mike. Every time you come on the show, you've been on twice now, it's good ratings for the show. Good ratings. Bad for you legally. Because you're still doing the same strategy. What is insanity?
Right.
Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
Over and over.
Right.
And expecting a different result.
It's like, you ever seen those toys for babies and or little toddlers where you try to put the shapes in the right hole? You're not going to get that circle, that
in
ball
the square.
in the square. It just ain't going to happen.
Well, see, now where I come from depends on the size of the hammer.
That's your problem, Mr. Davis is going to say. See?
Hey,
that's his example right there.
We'll have Mike on the show a year from now, and
he'll say, "How big was my hammer?"
he'll still be pissed off. He'll still be, having monitored visits. The wife will still be screwing him over.
Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. It's no problem. Mike.
Well, you're pretty much telling me making my bed, I'm sleeping in it, huh?
Right. 20 years ago, when I had clients like you, I would get so upset. I'd get really upset because they wouldn't follow my advice. Now I'm older. I'm 37 years doing this. You know what I say now? I tell you a couple of times, but if you don't want to follow it, God bless you. No problem. And if you and I tell my clients this. I tell my clients this, Mike. When they don't follow me now, I said, that's no problem. I said, I'm just going to make more money, charge you more because you're making my job a lot harder. It's okay. Don't do what I say. You got that money.
I'm all
tree in the
and
back.
let me
keep it coming.
Let me just clarify. I'm all about listening and I'm really about trying. It just, I mean, they just make it so hard to even get along with them. I mean, they do everything in their power to, excuse my language, piss in my coffee. And I don't like my coffee like that.
Right. But Mike, you know what? You're an honorable man. You served in the Air Force. You think principle and honor mean something to these people. It doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything to them. And unfortunately, they have the power.
Oh, yeah, they do. That's for sure.
And the more they piss you off is actually what they feed off of, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Yes, they do.
Very good point.
Yes, they do.
Well, in that case, they're full.
Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts.
Because I feed them every day.
Absolutely.
Now, because they have custody of my daughter, what is actually going to happen at this permanency planning thing? I mean, are they going to dismiss our case at this point? I mean, what's the deal?
Well, it depends on a lot of different things. If the child is placed with the mother, okay, there is no permanency planning. So I'm getting the feeling that the child is placed with the mother on a trial basis, and they haven't officially placed the child there. If the child is placed with the mother, the case will be closed because you can't make a permanent plan. And I don't know if this is the same in your state, but in California, you can't make a permanent plan because the kid's home. So the next thing to do is, if everything's going copacetic, close the case out. And if you want to do something about your monitored visits or getting overnights or unmonitored visits or custody or 50-50, you're going to have to go to the family law court, my man. See a new judge, new case.
So that could continue with me having supervised visitation through a normal court system? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a case tomorrow where one of my attorneys are appearing, and they're closing the case out, and they're giving our client visitation, but she's going to have monitored visitation. For whatever reason, this particular client didn't want to follow my strategy. And now the child's placed with the father, and the case is going to be closed, and she's going to have monitored visitation.
For the rest of her life until she decides she wants to go back to court, like you said?
Until she wants to go back to family law court. Now,
Mm.
here's what I mentioned to her. I said, look, you didn't want to do what I told you to do. They're closing the case out. They gave the kid to the father, and she and the father are, like this. They're not together anymore. And she says, well, what can I do? I said, well, you can go to family law court and try to change the visitation and, over time. She says, we have to go to another court. I said, yeah. She says, you're going to charge me more money? I said, oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. You know what she said to me?
She's not going to listen.
No, this is interesting. She said to me, Davis, I should have just done what you told me to do 6 months ago.
Wow.
Really?
You should have recorded her.
You see how big his head is?
So, you can listen to me or not listen to me.
Yeah.
And of course I'm going to. I mean, it'll be before then probably. I'll either be crying in my soup or I'll be waving a flag, one of the two.
Yeah, but the only good thing, Mike, is, if I'm correct, Mr. Davis, as long as the mom technically then still has custody, then it's not like they can terminate his rights, because as long as one parent still has rights, then the other one can't get terminated, right?
Correct. He won't lose his rights. He can always he'll always have visitation, monitored or supervised. And if he wants to change that, if the case is closed, he'll have to go back to family law court and deal with another judicial system.
Oh, yeah.
And totally different standards, correct?
I won't say totally, but different standards, yeah. In California, I don't know what it is in your state, but in California, CPS cases are dealt with by the Welfare and Institutions Code. Family law cases are dealt with by the Family Code. They're similar, but not the same.
Now, originally, I don't know if you recall my case, but originally, the reason why DSS took custody of my daughter was because of this safety plan that my wife signed. And she gave the safety of our daughter to her mother and stepfather. She got into an argument with her mother, and she left without changing the safety plan. And she didn't call DSS or CPS. So CPS said, okay, fine. We're going to take custody of your daughter. So that's the original reason they took our daughter, is because she took off without letting them know. And it's in the paperwork. I mean, that's the main reason they took her. Saying that the mom couldn't provide safety or a safe environment for her. So she ran with her. So she took her.
But Mike, hold on. Because this is classic. Darren, I want you to watch this. Mm-hmm. Mike is still telling me how he got effed over in module.
Oh, no. I'm taking it to a whole different point. I'm taking it to a whole different point.
Okay, go ahead.
That's it. That's just the foreground to it. That's just the groundwork. So anyways, a week ago, I get an email or a text message from my ex talking about how if DSS ever attempts to take her again, she's going to run with her again. So I notified DSS that I'm worried about the safety and welfare of my daughter. And DSS looks at me and says, well, if you'd show up to more of your visitations, you'd see that she's fine. We're not worried about it. I said, but I've got evidence. I'd be more than happy to give you evidence. And they didn't even ask for it. And they completely just shut that. I mean, they didn't even file a case. They just shut it down at that point.
Mike, I'd be careful because my fear would be, what if then they did act on it and they took her from your wife and put her in foster care, strangers?
Well, see,
And
that's
then
the rock and hard spot I'm between. You know,
no,
I
that's
mean,
really a hard spot, I would think, because that's the worst place you would want your kid is in a foster setting, because then those foster parents usually end up wanting to adopt, especially if your daughter's young. And then fast forward how they do, a year from then, what if you and your wife then lose your daughter completely, like me and Darren have lost one of our children and
well,
have to deal with
and
that for the rest of your life,
and I mean, that's the rock and the hard spot. But the rock and the hard spot is, do I leave her with my ex, where she's going to go on the lam with her, or put her in foster care where I know, you know what I mean? That's the rock and the hard spot that I'm stuck in. And
well, just
I
speaking
would
from
think because of the
experience,
original,
the foster setting, I feel like is more of like, work where we ended up. We've lost our child. Well, we'll never see him again, but I don't know. I was just trying to give you.
We will fight. There is hope. Like
I hear what you're saying, Deidre, and I appreciate it. And I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the fear. That is one of my biggest fears, is putting her back in the system where she was neglected the first time. I mean, trust me, I'm scared of that. I'm scared to death of that. But honestly, I'm sitting here as a father, very protective, very involved, and I was her day-to-day caretaker. She's with my ex, but it's like it's like she's in foster care anyways.
Yeah.
So, there's no upside to this for me at all. And that's how
I think the
feel.
part that's really hurting you is you have no legal representation anymore, though, too, I think. Right, Mr. Davis?
Well, that's because I pissed them all off.
No, I know, but that's number one. Mr. Davis says is don't basically try to do it by yourself. You have to have some kind of, legal court appointed, whatever, but they won't give you anybody else.
No,
they won't appoint you another.
No, ma'am, not this late in the game.
I don't know.
So back at the ranch.
Did Mr. Davis pass out already, or is he just tired of hearing?
No, that usually means I'm talking too much and I'm not being a good listener. So I'm trying to shut myself up.
There's just fear.
Look, Mama Bear says I have a question. She's raising her hand. Whoever Mama Bear is.
Mike could be our guest reader, right?
Mama Bear, what's your question?
Oh, shoot.
Okay, what's your next question, Mr. Mike Bartz?
At the permanency planning or hearing that we're going to have, are they going to present more evidence against me, or can I present evidence to them? What is this going to happen? Pardon me?
Yes, the answer is yes and yes.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Have they brought that tasing incident up to you at court yet, or has that just been talked through?
Yeah, no, they did that. They did. They pretty much convicted me of it and said, because you were tased and because you had this issue with the police officer, and of course it's the sheriff, who are all bailiffs, and they had 13 bailiffs in there because but the judge looked at me, and because all of the sheriff's department and the bailiffs wear brown shirts, he says, I've been working with these brown shirts for 25 years and they won't just tase you for nothing.
Whiz.
I said, well, this asshole did. I said, oh, I'm sorry, this jerk did, or I'm sorry, this officer did. And I really did. I did. I said that exactly. And and he didn't find that funny at all.
I think Mr. Davis don't you have a video about your courtroom demeanor, Mr. Davis, and how to act in your courtroom or when you're being questioned?
I did, but sometimes people don't listen to what I say.
Mike, I love you to death, man. Maybe watch.
You should have Mike's video and be like, "This is what you don't do."
Now, believe it or not, I wore a spy pin, so I have it all on video. If you want a copy of it, of what not to do.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that would. Yes.
I don't think that's legal.
Hey, Mike, you just admitted to a felony.
I know.
In
was just
what's
kidding.
in whose world? In whose world? They got to prove
Yeah.
it, Mr. Davis.
La, la, la,
I
la,
Yeah,
la,
got.
videotape in court.
Next question.
I've
Michael's
got
next
a
question.
huge ass. I've got a huge ass magnet. I can take care of something real quick.
Oh shoot.
Hey, but if they arrest you, call me. I'll fly out there.
Okay, thank you.
For the right price, I'll do the
You
criminal case
got
for you.
attorney in Vince.
Oh, shoot.
You got attorney in Vince. Do-do-do.
Oh man.
Yep.
But the whole thing was the joke of if you want a copy of a video that will show you what not to do, I have it for you.
Yeah, no, that's funny. It's funny as hell, man. So what are we gonna do, Mike?
Mama
What's-
Bear still waiting to ask a question though.
Yeah, her hand's still up. Mike, I'm nervous for you.
I'm sick to my stomach with nerves. I really am. I'm so beside myself. I don't even know what to do.
I think they
I'm-
purposely made all of the attorneys quit on you so that you would be in this situation too, because that's just brutal, I feel like.
I mean, I'm not going to admit to nothing. I already have admitted to anything on camera, but my birthday was August 25th, and I turned 60 years old, and it was a dark day. It was a dark day.
Yeah.
It was a seriously dark day. For one, I was supposed to be dead already. I mean, I wasn't supposed to live this long. And to go through the most honorable thing I ever did in my life was my brain. That was the most honorable thing I ever did, because I did it for all the right reasons. I did it for my wife and for my baby. Had nothing to do with me. And then on top of that was what I refer to as a milestone birthday, a 60 years old. And here by myself, without my daughter, without my wife, without,
Yep.
I mean, dark day.
Didn't you also say though before your surgery that you would have never been emotional like it has made you afterwards too?
Absolutely correct. I mean, I'm more sensitive and more emotional
Yeah.
now than I've ever been in my life. I mean, I was pretty much cold hearted. Now I'm just a jerk, but I'm sorry afterwards.
Right. Apologize afterwards for you.
How many hours
They-
a week
they
do you
cut
get
out
to
my-
see your daughter?
If I go to visitation, if I have enough fuel in my vehicle to go to visitation 2 hours a week.
Well, there's first and foremost, dude. That's the number one thing. You need to make sure that you go to those visitations, right, Mr.
No, but
Davis?
did you hear what he
I
said?
don't
He
have
said
the-
if he has enough fuel, aren't they supposed to
Doesn't matter.
provide you
Does not matter.
transportation?
DHS doesn't care if you have gas. If a plane crashed into your car, they don't care. All they're
No.
using against you is they're going to use those visits. If you're not there, they're going to use that against you. Am I right?
No,
about
but I
this?
thought they had to provide transportation if you didn't have it. Like they would give us bus passes for a month, like the unlimited bus pass, so that we couldn't use that as an excuse. But at the same time, I felt like it was something they actually did as of like helping. I don't know.
But
They don't do
this
that
is
for you
not
guys.
California. We don't have buses everywhere. I'm in
Oh.
rural North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm in rural North Carolina. If you see a taxi, you're lucky. I mean,
And
I
they don't
can
have like
Uber
Uber
it,
and
but
stuff,
hell, that
or it'd
costs
be
more
too
than gas.
expensive. Oh yeah.
That's more than gas. Yeah.
So I'm sorry, you said 2 hours a week if you have enough fuel.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. That's all they give you. Oh, okay.
That's it.
Jesus.
And it's what, like in an office building where you can't like do anything or be normal with your child, right?
It's in a room, and yeah, it's in a church. It's in a conference room of a church, and they have the DSS worker sit right there, and the DSS worker calls my daughter over to play with her.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It's like, wait a minute, and that's another thing that I was very impolite about. This is my visitation, not yours, you moron. Shut up. Just sit over there and
That
behave
shouldn't be
yourself.
allowed. Yeah, that shouldn't be allowed.
But yeah, I mean, and it's really funny because my daughter just loves everybody. So if she sees somebody sitting there, she's going to go over there and show him toys or,
Yeah.
blah, 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 and if they would just ignore her, she would go away. She'd come back.
Yeah,
to me,
but they don't.
They don't. They just love keeping her in front of them.
That's so wrong.
But yeah, so 2 hours a week. That's if I'm able to make it. I I'm not going to admit to another felony, but if food stamps come in and I can finagle a deal for some gasoline, then I do that. But other than that, that's the only income I have.
Mm. Then they're probably going to still, like you said, use that against you as far as saying, how can we give the daughter back to you if you can't provide for her, I guess, then, right?
I have no idea. I would imagine they would.
You don't qualify for disability with your surgery?
They've shot me down 5 times now.
Shoot.
Why? The VA, I don't know how it works. That's not the same in your state as it would be in California?
It has nothing to do with VA because it didn't happen in the military.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This is straight disability. Now, if I had the means to file for separation, I could turn around and have my wife pay spousal support. But I don't even have the funds to do that. So I'm thinking strong arm robbery.
Mr. Davis ain't even listening anymore.
No, I'm listening. I mean,
I know he quit listening. He quit listening 30 minutes ago.
His strategy is going from bad to worse.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They're jokes, Mr. Davis. They're jokes.
I mean, it's good TV, for the show. But
I'm fighting here on a shoestring budget. I'm trying to keep the pieces together and just trying to keep it moving going forward. Deidre, I'm with you. She's better off, not in foster care. I agree. But at the same time,
you feel like she is in the situation you're in. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm the guy sitting here with my heart in my hand on my birthday, so.
Yeah. There's Mama Bear's question.
I recently had CPS called on me for someone who hasn't seen my children in a while. Can that hold to anything? Do I need a lawyer? Only if you want to make sure you keep your children.
My answer?
Well, go ahead. Give us that expert answer.
When they come knocking on the door, don't answer the damn door.
Oh, that would be good advice then, right?
Good job, Mike.
That was a good one.
Don't answer the door. Don't talk to them.
Call your lawyer.
When I was growing up, I was a really big NFL fan. And this was around college. Yeah, around college. But he would pick winners, teams to bet on, every Sunday. All right. And it was almost like 90-something%. If he said team A was going to win, it would be team B. So he said with team A, and then I would go and I would put $5 on team B, and I would always win. It was almost like automatic income for me for several years.
He never noticed that neither.
But he wore his heart on his sleeve, and he was a man that thought he knew everything about pro football. Now, and he had, of course, his teams that he was loyal to, 110%. Me, not so much. I just watched it for the entertainment. And for many years in a row, you guys are probably too young to remember this. Maybe not, Mike. But the Minnesota Vikings went to the Super Bowl 3 or 4 times, in about 4 or 5 years. And this guy was the biggest Minnesota Viking fan. And he'd always tell me, bet on Minnesota. And I always bet on the other team. Do you remember Franco Harris, the football player named Franco Harris with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yep.
Well, there's a very famous play called The Immaculate Reception. Franco Harris makes this unbelievable catch of a ball that looked like it was going to be an incomplete pass. He makes the catch. He runs it for a touchdown. Steelers beat the Oakland Raiders. I think this was for AFC Championship. He bet the house on the Oakland Raiders. And I, of course, bet on my $5 on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They end up winning this last-minute immaculate reception. I mean, the guy couldn't pick a winner if his life depended on it. You know, if he said A, you do B. Now, there are people like that in the world. I'm sure you've met them in your lifetimes. No matter what, for whatever reason. Well, I wasn't going to mention any names, but you know, if they say A, you do B. That's it. You don't have to give it any analysis. You just know they're they're winning.
He took his mic off. He's out.
Mic down. Mic down.
Oh, Lordy. Or let's wait and see what he brings back to the table.
I think Mike's out.
No, that was kind of funny. Uh-oh.
All right. We're moving to we're way past the end of the show.
Yeah.
Anything you guys want to add? Or
Wait, here he comes. Here he comes. Mike, did you do that on purpose?
I'm sorry. I had to go get some. No, I didn't.
We thought we pissed you off.
Because I was actually getting something to prove his point. I told you that my birthday was bad. I mean, just really bad. And very depressing. And you want to talk about something they can't even win a hand? Can you see this?
The bullet.
If you look at the end, it's a rim fire.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you see how it's?
What does that
mean? See how it's dinged right there?
Means it
It means
misfired.
it didn't fire when I tried to shoot it.
You did not try and do that yourself.
If you can read in between the lines, that's how bad my birthday was.
Mike,
but
right,
I can't win a football game. I can't win a football game.
Yeah, you found us.
But you talk about being more sensitive now.
Yeah, you found us, dude.
I mean, it's just that hard out here. It really is.
Hey, Mike, you know what?
Mike,
I want you to turn your energy. I want you and Mr. Guy to start a man's CPS show.
There you go.
And I want it to be about 3 times per week. Can you do that, Mike?
I can.
Okay, Grace.
Because I just don't even have anybody to talk to here. I mean, I'm a baby boomer. I'm a baby boomer. We keep to ourselves. You know, I just don't have any way to vent.
Grace, are you there? I see you're still in the green room. Mike and Darren are
Will she ever bring her face to the show?
Mike and Darren are starting a new show. I want it to start immediately.
I just think that men, they need an avenue. They need some way to get their voice heard. They really do.
And I need this show to be on at least 3 or 4 times a week.
This will be a good show.
Okay. What day?
Mike, you better behave yourself.
What days and times do you guys want to do it?
I'm fine with whatever. Don't matter to me.
You're on the East. You're both on the East Coast.
Okay. Grace set it up 3 times per week, like every other day, 4 days a week, maybe for an hour, maybe during midday. And these folks are going to address men's issues in CPS cases.
I really think they need to be looked at. I really do. I agree 100%.
We're going to bring it to the table, Mike. We'll bring it out there.
Now, Mike, you know what I'm going to do, Mike? I'm going to turn you into an internet sensation. You will be a CPS influencer.
You'll have so many friends. You'll probably say, "Why did you do this, Mr. Davis?"
Mike,
I got my CPS black belt. You want to see?
Yep.
All right, Mike. But I need one promise from you, Mike.
Yeah. Don't cry on camera.
No more bullets.
No. Stay away from the 30-year-olds, okay?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
me, bro.
no millennials. Oh, Lordy.
Okay,
I'm
Grace,
trying to convince.
I hope
I'm
you
trying to
heard that.
convince her ex-boyfriend to marry her now, and he says, "Oh, hell no."
Hey,
Sure.
Grace, I want you to start this show. Maybe even tomorrow. I want you to contact Darren, contact Mike, and get this thing going. Okay. And if
And
they want
Darren,
to
I'm
do
gonna
it,
follow your lead. Darren, I'm gonna follow your lead.
even if they want to do it more than 3-4 times a week, they can do it. Put it on our stream and stream it to simultaneously to, 7 other shows. I don't know if you guys know this, but one of the websites that we stream to is a website called beatcps.tv. beatcps.tv. It's on Roku. It's on Amazon Prime. You can just watch it on the website.
Are you
But
watching on Roku?
Yeah, it's a paid site. You have to pay $4.99 a month, and it has all videos, all shows. It's about CPS 24/7, 365. beatcps.tv. Okay.
But yeah, I can't pick a football team either. I mean, I'm terrible at it.
Well, you know what?
There's just bigger powers than me, Ed.
The reason why that happened is because you have a destiny on this platform to share your knowledge and experience about CPS, and we're going to give you that platform. You're going to have access to over 1 billion people. 1 billion people. The next internet star and influencer.
That's what I'm telling you, Mike. You're going to regret it.
Mike Bart.
Do I have to get my nose pierced or anything? My eyebrows pierced?
Make sure you're wearing pants.
Oh, yeah, Darren. Sometimes, he had to put his clothes on.
Yeah. Do you wear pants, Mr. Davis? Are you wearing pants right now?
Now we're just getting a little bit too personal, Mr. Guai.
So the answer is no.
We're going to have a gun. Come on, Darren. Let's do a gun show, bro.
My guns fell off a long time ago. I got Nancy sticks or something. I got the same amount as tattoos, but now I
really think men need a place to laugh. I think they need a place to laugh. They need a place to cry, to be sensitive, to share their fears, their wants, their needs, their asses if they want. I mean, I think they need that.
Yes, they do.
Well, you're going to be the leader of the group with Darren, so.
Do it. Nice job, Mike. More work.
Sorry, Darren.
Mr. Davis, do you have pants?
Is Mr. Davis going to show up on the show every once in a while?
Do you ever see Casino? Like they never wear their pants, but they sit down and they want to put a crease in their pants,
Oh, shoot. He's going to say it's about that time, folks. Do you have any last comments?
We've run out of time.
So, Mike, I put my phone number up there for you to have. That's how you can get in touch with me.
Okay.
To the chat.
And then there's a bunch of
I see you.
There's a bunch of good links for you to take a look at too.
I think I think the name of the show, Grace, should be CPS Perspective.
Men's perspective,
or men's CPS perspective.
Men's real.
Dad's in the trench.
There you go. Dad's in the trenches.
I like that. Dad's in trenches. Yeah. That's what we'll name it. Dad's in trenches.
Well, there you go. You even got the title, Mike.
Dad's in the CPS trenches.
I'm gonna have to wear
there
some
you go.
sunglasses. This guy's got me in the dust.
Dad's in the CPS trenches. Okay,
Deidre, we're gonna have to have you identify as a man and show up.
No. I'll pop in every now and then if you want me to.
You just gotta identify as a man when you get there.
All right, so we will end on that note, Mr. Bartz. Thank you and welcome to the family. Our newest host,
Thank you,
Darren. Thank you. Good luck on this new show. I expect
thank you.
big numbers, big viewers. Ms.
Yeah, I'll
Deidre
let you know
Payne,
tomorrow night.
thank you very much. And I'll see you folks tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Good
We'll
night.
see the rest of you tomorrow at some time. And then
All
tomorrow.
right, see y'all later.